think he Jermaine Dupri. You see him, right? He's tripping. What's going on, y'all? This is Wayne Steven with Next Level Lifestyle, here to bring you another top 5 list. Y'all know I love lists. Y'all know I love ranking things. Y'all know I love making y'all mad with my rankings. So today, we are gonna do our top 5 Southern lyricists. Listen to the word that I said. I said lyricists. Fix my brim. Shout out to the Braves. I did not say rappers. I didn't say top 5 Southern entertainers. I didn't say top 5 spitters who sold the most albums. I said top 5 lyricists. I'm talking about bars. I'm talking about punchlines. I'm talking about lines that make you go, ooh, what that boy say? That kind of stuff. So what you won't see is Juvenile, Soulja Slim. You're not gonna see Trey the Truth on there. Shout out to them. You're not gonna see Slim Thug. You're not gonna see Young Thug. You're not gonna see Rich Homie Quan. You're not gonna see none of them dudes. This is about the spit game. Listen, man, I'm from New York. I've been a Braves fan since '92 because I be bandwagoning sometimes. I'm just keeping it trill. Anyways, what you are gonna see are people who make you rewind it back and scratch your head and say, yo, I can't believe he just said that. My top 5 is crazy, but as I usually do, I got an honorable mention list that's in no order in particular that I gotta give a nod to because I don't want to upset my Southern constituency. I respect the art, so I know when you leave people off, people get mad. Just like New Yorkers get mad when you leave Raekwon the Chef off a list, or you leave Ghostface Killer off a list, or you, heaven forbid, you leave Nas off a list. Anyway, this ain't about him. This is about those Southern slang spitters that make me make my face do this right here. That's what it's about. First, the honorable mention, 2 Chainz. Most people don't think of 2 Chainz as a lyricist. They like to sleep on him because he'll come at you with some slick stuff. He's a slick talker. He'll throw some stuff in there to make you go, yo, I can't believe he just compared those 2 things, but he did, and it sounded hard. So Titty 2 Chainz is definitely one of my dudes that I look to when I'm trying to make the stink face. That's what that's called. Another honorable mention, Jeezy. I'ma keep it real. I put him on the list for y'all. I've never, ever cared for his music. I tried. I listened to Recession. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. Recession had me. I was feeling that. But at the same time, there's certain things with him I can't get past. But I put him on there because I respect the South and I respect how much he's done for bringing the South up as far as bringing it to the forefront in the main stage and keeping it there for the while that he had his run. Another one on my list, Ricky Rose, Rick Ross. Oh, he's not the flashiest of spitters, but he talks that talk that makes him real relatable, and I've always respected that about him. If he had a couple of more witty punchlines under his belt, I think he might have cracked my top 5. Nah, I'm just kidding. He would have never cracked the top 5 because my top 5 is crazy. Nobody top 5 can out-rap my top 5 when it comes to that slang spit. For real, for real. Yo, another one of my honorable mentions, Big Boy. Big Boy has over time proven to me, especially with his last album, Boomiverse, he's proven to me that, yo, maybe he wasn't the second best in Outkast, which brings me to my other and last honorable mention, Andre 3 Stacks. You know what to do. The reason he didn't crack my top 5 is for one reason and one reason only. You can't give me one verse every 4 years and have me be like, oh yeah, you're still in the top 5. There's been a level of inconsistency with him that I can't respect as far as shoving him in that top 5 when people who have been doing it and doing it and doing it and staying consistent continue to hit us with songs and content and features. Those guys deserve to be in the top 5 because they kept feeding us. Andre is one of those people that's like, here, I'll give you a cracker. See you later. And then he won't come back for 2 more years. Next time you see him, he'll give you a cracker. It might have a little peanut butter on it, but it's still a cracker. The dudes that's on the top 5 have been putting in way more work than him over time. And if you disagree with that, I'm sorry. You just don't pay attention to rap that much. I'm not saying he's garbage. This is what I'm not saying, because every time you say something slightly critical about somebody, you sound like you hating. I don't know what that's all about these days. I'm not saying he's garbage. What I am saying is his inconsistency makes me not want to put him in a top 5 list and remove somebody who's been doing it and constantly giving us music to compare other music to. Now, my top 5 list. Number 5, Don Tripp. I know, a lot of people gonna be like, what? How you gonna throw Don Tripp on there? Who is he? That's the problem. You should know who he is because he's been hitting y'all year after year since like 2005 with constant mixtape bars. He doesn't have a lot of major label successes because he teamed up on his major label stuff. He teamed up with Starlito and did the Step Brothers series, which is also hard. Shout out to Starlito, another one of my honorable mentions that I forgot to mention. Shout out to Yo Gotti because they all from Memphis. I gotta throw them back there. Hold on for a second. Don Tripp with his Human Torch series. Yo, did you listen to the Randy Macho Man Savage mixtape? That man was spitting straight flames. Guerrilla Warfare was like, so when you think about mixtape bars and you think about dudes that spit and been doing it in the game for that long, I think of Don Tripp because he's been putting in work after work after work after work, and he's been doing it quiet. I want you to Google Don Tripp. You'll see how many mixtapes this dude has, how many albums this dude put out, and I honestly have never heard him spit a whack verse. And that's coming from somebody who I listen to rap just so I can scrutinize it. I enjoy the art, that's why I feel like I can scrutinize it in the way that I do. I love the game, which is why I break it down the way that I do. And when I think about Don Tripp, I think of somebody that's been putting in consistent work for the past 10 years on the quiet, and nobody's been giving him his credit. So I'm gonna give him credit. Don Tripp, number 5 on my top 5 Southern Lyricists list. Number 4, Kevin Gates. Don't act like you don't know that man's name. Since I don't know what to call it, was one of his first mixtapes. He been letting y'all know that he's a cut above a lot of dudes. And the fact of the matter is, he speaks that real street talk. And I'm not talking about guns and killing and all this other stuff. He may rap about that, but he also talks about the trappings of it. He doesn't glorify it more than he explains how his life was affected by it. Very few people play that game with that balance, because there's people who over glorify the killing and there's people who over preach to you about how negative it all is and all this other stuff, but very few people give you their heart in their music. And every time out, you can hear it in his voice, you can hear it in the way he harmonizes, you can hear it in the name of the songs that he puts out. He gives you everything in the titles. When he made Isla and people really started paying attention to him, I was kind of upset because I was like, why are you just now paying attention to him when he put out Luca Brasi and Luca Brasi 2? How do you let those two bodies of work go ignored and you just now hear about Kevin Gates? That Chain to the City that he put out a few months ago, check my review out on that, by the way, let us know that he wasn't going nowhere no matter all the legal troubles he has, which he talks about those extensively on that. Again, this man is very transparent with his music. You don't get that a lot. And you get witty wordplay from him, and you get content, and you get substance. That's the other thing that you get from Gates. You get substance. Everybody on this top 5 list gives you substance while they're giving you witty punchlines and approaches. So that's why he was number 4 on my top 5 Southern Lyricist list. Number 3, Saha the Prince. Don't tell me you just now hearing about him because of that No Dope on Sundays. You're tripping. When he had the Jack of All Trades mixtape, the Ivy League mixtape, then he came back with the Ivy League 2 joint, they had the ATL remix on there, killed it. Classics like Riding Round. Like, you gotta really pay attention to this man when he raps. Very few rappers, very few lyricists give you punchline after punchline after punchline, but have it be relative and relevant to the subject matter. There's rappers who can punch, but they just give you punchlines just for the sake of giving you punchlines. When I look at Saha, I can remove him from that southern space and put him amongst people like Jadakiss, like Royce the 5'9", like King Los, like Crooked Eye, like all of those guys who rap and go, he's elite amongst them. But when it comes to the South, there's very few, because there's only 2 left remaining on this list, there's very few who rap better than Saha the Prince. I'm talking about rap better. I'm talking about when they string a punchline together and it's within the content of the conversation, and then they take you someplace else with another punchline that's within the context. Very few rappers can do that. Saha takes you all over the place with his raps, and that's why he's number 3 on my Southern Lyricists list. Number 2, Lil Wayne. Shut your mouth. Please don't come at me with this, he ain't give us nothing in a minute nonsense. I'm sorry? Has he not been feeding you guys since he first came out? Has he not shown you that when he was a member of the Hot Boys that he was gonna be the one to rise above everybody else and be the superstar? Has he not continuously, year after year, giving you mixtape after mixtape after mixtape, even amongst being amongst legal troubles with Cash Money Records not paying him, and still giving you guys Sorry for the Wait 2, No Ceilings 2, D6 and D6 Reloaded? And he was doing features with people? And he gave you Collie Grove with 2 Chainz? And he gave you the Free Weezy album a couple of years back? I don't need to say and anymore. The fact that his nickname is Mixtape Weezy, and you know exactly what you mean when you say that, you mean that Wayne that was hitting y'all upside the head with No Ceilings? You're gonna look at No Ceilings, which is, if it was an album, it would be a classic all-time album by itself. Very few people, very few rappers have mixtapes that would be classic albums if they were pushed through a major label. That one right there, No Ceilings, you listened to No Ceilings until you couldn't listen to it no more. You listened to No Ceilings so much, you thought you was Lil Wayne rapping when you was reciting the words. And that's why he's number 2 on my list. By the way, Free C5, can't wait for that to drop. That's why he's number 2 on my Southern Spitters list. Number 1, let me just fix this. The King of the South, T.I. Don't act like he ain't been nice since I'm serious. Don't act like trap music didn't change your life. Don't act like trap music didn't change the way you looked at Southern rappers. Don't act like New York rappers didn't mess with T.I. because they knew that he was one of the few Southern rappers who could hop on a track with a New York flame spitter and completely shut him down. Somebody else I've never heard spit a whack verse. I've never heard T.I. spit a whack verse. Every time he gets on a song, he makes it 10 times better. And the reason being is he is a wordsmith, in and out of rap. His mixtape stuff still kills it. You gonna tell me you didn't bump T.I. over Jay-Z for about 3 years in a row? I know I did, because there was a point where I'm not gonna say Hov was dry, but Hov was falling back and T.I. was that guy. When people refer to you as the Jay-Z of the South, that pretty much says something about your level of clout as far as being a spitter. Listen, you may disagree with my list, which is fine. I want all the smoke in the comments. Tell me what you think. If there's some people I left out, let me know who I left out. Side note, don't forget to subscribe. See that little man right there? The one who got the black hoodie on and he's like this? I swear I'm gonna change that picture. Don't forget to subscribe. This is Wayne Stephen with Next Level Lifestyle. Yes, sir.